Hey, in this podcast episode, I am going to be walking you through a quarterly review and sharing with you what I have started, stopped, and will continue doing in my business consultancy, THC Primary Care. Just for a little bit of background, this podcast is being shared on our usual podcasting channels and also on YouTube. And for anybody watching on YouTube, I have got a pretty established podcast. At the time of recording, we just published episode 276, and we are dipping our toe in the water of YouTube. To date, primarily, the Business of Healthcare podcast has been an interview show where we talk to healthcare leaders. But when I look at the stats, our listeners really like the solo episodes. And back in episode 258, I did a quarterly review, and the listeners, you guys seem to really like that. So I thought I would do another quarterly review. So I run a consultancy called THC Primary Care. We have been going for around 8.5 years, and we currently provide interim network management, consultancy, facilitation, and training to primary care networks. And to date, we have supported over 120 networks across the country. So even though the skill set of what we do is pretty common, the niche part of our business is that we support primary care networks. And at its core, a primary care network is a group of general practice surgeries coming together to deliver clinical services and projects to their collective population. So before, primary care networks, for many, not all, they would just deliver services to their patient list size of 2,000 or 5,000 or 10,000. A primary care network is bringing multiple practices together to serve a population roughly between 30,000 and 50,000, but there are obviously exceptions to the rule, and you get really small networks and you also have really large networks. And essentially, people commission our services to help them to better work together. Okay, let's jump into the review. So we currently have 4 courses running. We have our Primary Care Network Management Induction Program for new primary care network managers and administrators. We also have our New to General Practice Partnership Program that we deliver in partnership with a guy called Ben Gowland, Dr. Naj Sidat, and Robert McCartney. We have PCM Plus, and I deliver that again in partnership with Ben Gowland, Dr. Hussein Gandhi, and Dr. Andy Foster. And PCM Plus is for more experienced managers and clinical directors. So those are our 3 core courses, and I'm really, really happy with how they're running. And then we have recently been commissioned by an integrated care board in Lincolnshire who wanted a bespoke leadership course for their primary care network leaders. And we've just started that, and that's been delivered face to face over a course of 5 months. And so far, so good. So I'm really, really happy with those suite of courses. In episode 258, I talked about our newest course, the Digital and Transformation Lead course, and we ran that with a really small cohort. It was touch and go whether we were going to run it, and we ran it, and I loved it. But for the second cohort, after some reflection, we thought, do you know what? We're going to stop doing that course and focus on core primary care network leadership and management. We do attract digital and transformation leads, and it really depends on how you see your role. So there's lots of digital and transformation leads that are primary care network managers, but they're called digital and transformation leads. And then you get other digital and transformation leads that don't manage the network and don't have HR and finance, and they are truly doing digital and change projects that run alongside the management of the network, but it's not the management of the network. I don't know if that makes sense. So those are our courses, and I'm really, really happy. And sometimes it's good to stop. So we always use a framework. What should we stop doing? What should we start doing? What should we continue doing? And one of the things we said we were going to stop doing is a digital and transformation e-course. So moving on to facilitation and consultancy. In the 8.5 years I've had this business, 2023 has been the year for facilitation and consultancy, and it's not something we massively promote. So I think word of mouth is serving us really well, and I also think our blog is attracting lots of those inquiries. So primary care networks and integrated care boards are coming to us because they want some short, sharp and intense support to either work through a conflict, build a shared vision and build a strategic plan. I am really happy with those clients coming through, but it is really challenging because unlike when you're there as an interim manager, you have time to build that trust and get to know people. But with facilitation, you have a really short amount of time to prove yourself and help people get on board. Even though I love facilitation, it really takes a lot out of me. And like a half a day facilitation means I won't get any other real meaningful work done. So it is very intense for me, but I like it. And yeah, the more the merrier. When it comes to our interim network management clients, a couple of those have come to a planned end, which is all good. I'm really, really pleased with the work that we delivered there. We've still got a couple of networks, and we also provide care coordination, which focuses on the immunisations and vaccinations call and recall process. So when it comes to our interim management portfolio, I am really pleased, but we do have capacity to take on one more. So the win for the quarter is I'm pleased to share that we have achieved over 100,000 views on our website to date this year. So for 2023. Yeah, I'm so pleased. I'm so pleased. And during the summer months, it dipped. And I was thinking, oh my God, I've lost it. I've lost it. And now we are back up with a vengeance. I wouldn't say our blog is seasonal, but I do know what generates the big hitters, and we've not had any of those. But so just we're constantly going in, we're looking at the SEO, we're looking at, just like we're doing with the podcast, actually, we're looking at what episodes or what blogs perform really well. Are we doing all the back end stuff really well? Am I doing the necessary market research to make sure the blog is answering pain points that our audience has? So yeah, that hard work and the pernickety little things is paying off. So the win for this quarter is definitely the performance on the website. And once the performance on the website is good, that feeds the rest of the business. And so when the website is performing well, that has a massive, massive boost to the business. And we're getting those inquiries all of the time. So yeah, it's a team effort. It's me and Soph in it every single day. So also we have set up a template store. So we've got our blogs that we obviously publish for free. We've got our online course, but sometimes people don't want the course. They just want the template, which is not on the blog. So we've taken some of our most popular templates in the course and from frequently asked questions and have built a store so people can just purchase them, get them instantly. And that is something we started doing this quarter. So we've stopped the digital and transformation lead course. We've started an online templates store, and we will continue to obsess over the website and the blog. And we are starting to take YouTube a lot more seriously. I do find YouTube, excuse me, I do find YouTube the hardest. And I did do a podcast where I said, pick your poison and do what comes easiest to you. If it's writing, just write. If it's podcasting, just podcast. However, video is undeniable and I just need to try. So that's what I'm doing. I am trying my best at coming onto YouTube and just trying to make it work. But this is our lowest performing channel. But I am investing in it because I know I've seen the success of our podcast on the traditional channels. And also we are experiencing the success of investing in the blog. So YouTube, we're a little bit behind, but I am committed to doing it. And then when it comes to our team, we have introduced a newsletter. And I know that may sound really like, do you not already have a newsletter? We've got a relatively small team, but I felt like I was repeating myself, to be honest. There's a lot going on. I don't expect everybody to remember everything. So let's introduce a newsletter, and so far so good. I've also just reviewed how we communicate as a team. So we have our Monday morning meeting every week on a Monday. And then in that meeting, we discuss wins from last week, priorities and issues we need to be thinking about for this week. We have it's roughly every 6 weeks, we have an in-person team day. We have our quarterly dashboard. So that's where I will share what's happening in the business. And now I also cascade that via the newsletter. We have bi-monthly one-to-ones, and then we've also got our newsletter. So I've just reviewed how we are communicating and functioning as a team. And then we also have leadership team meetings as well. So want to make sure that the team is supported and they understand what is happening in the business. So that is making sure I dot the I's and cross the T's on team communication, and that is working well. I've had good feedback, and I feel like the team, we're all on the same page, moving in the right direction. So that is a behind the scenes review of what is happening behind the business of THC Primary Care. We currently have 14 active clients, plus our 4 courses, plus the blog, our weekly newsletter, the podcast, and now YouTube. And I think in regards to challenges in the business, I think the biggest challenge that I'm wrestling with is just knowing what to say yes to and what to say no to, and making sure we are all just spending our time wisely, and making sure that everything leads to a good return on investment. And that's not all about the money. It's just about, is this a good use of my time? It's a balancing act. I don't want to be short-sighted, but I also don't want to waste time. I'm very much like, we need to keep this show moving at pace at all times. So it's just managing my own expectations, managing the expectations of the team and of our clients, because everybody wants things done yesterday. I think I want everything done yesterday. My clients want everything done yesterday. But the team need time to be able to deliver to a high standard. Otherwise, I'm not happy or the client's not happy. So it is just always trying to manage expectations. Always. Always. But yeah, so I feel like we're in a good spot. Touch wood. Don't want to tempt fate. But yeah, that's what's happening behind the business. And it is full steam ahead until Christmas. Thank you for listening. I hope this is helpful. And my action for you is for you to review your last quarter or your last month, and to really reflect what is working well and what should you start, stop, and continue doing. Please let us know. Leave a comment down below on YouTube, or if you listen on Spotify, you can send a direct message to us, or DM me on LinkedIn or Instagram or on Twitter. Okay, I'll see you in the next episode.